good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that we received. The translation, it reads like this: Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story? Yes, anonymous. I am a South African woman, and this story that I'm going to be sharing with you, it happened when I was only 33 years old. Currently, I am a woman that is aged 45 years old. So I used to be married, but my husband and I, we used to experience a lot of challenges. I can say that the challenges that we were experiencing started when we had some credits that we were unable to pay. And once, as a woman, you start to realize that things are going very bad, because my husband and I, we had always been fighting about him always wanting brand new cars. And I told him that even though we were working in the government, but there was always a limit whereby you had to tell yourself that I cannot exceed this spending limit. I cannot compete with people at work. Like at his own workplace, he was always competing with some other people that did other business deals that he did not know about. So I used to tell him that you do not know what some people do at night. You do not know how much money they have in their bank account. This was when we were fighting, because he had his other friend at work who had bought a BMW. We had a car. We had one car which was a double cab Isuzu, which was still very good. He would go and drop me at work, and then he would go to his workplace. And each and every time when I would tell him that he was supposed to just have one car, it was enough, and we would fight, because he would be like, I want to go to work with my BMW, you can go with a pickup, I do not want to go around, drop you first, it is not manageable for me, I want you to have your own car, and then I can have my own car. So we were always fighting, because when I was looking at the finances as an accountant, I knew that we just had our head above the water, and taking another car, it was going to have us like drowning in debt, and it would happen so fast, so much that you won't even know what has happened. And I knew that only 1 month that will be a missed payment, then it is over. So I would take all the books that I would have made, showing him that the moment that something happens to him or something happens to me, then it meant that we won't be able to honor our own obligations. And he used to tell me that, no, you do not know what you are talking about. You just need to understand that I am a man, I need what I want, and you also need to have whatever that you want in life. I want you to have the double cab, the Isuzu, and I am going to be using the BMW. We fought like each and every day. On top of the BMW that he had taken, he then said that he wanted us to buy a new property, and he was living under pressure from his friends. So most of the friends, they were now buying townhouses. We still stayed in the location where me and him grew up in. So I said, of course, we are earning some money, but we can still have a house here in the location. It is fine. We can still manage. And it will be like, there is too much crime. I want to go in a place where it is quiet. I want a townhouse. And do you afford this townhouse that you want? And he was like, yes, I work. I work very hard, and I can even work extra hard. Then we moved from the location, we went into the suburbs, and now we were managing 2 properties and other credit cards that we had and other things that we had. It then happened that things were not going so well. My husband became so sick, and he was unable to work for 2 years. My husband was unable to work. And remember that we still had some bills that we were supposed to be paying. And all of these bills that we were supposed to be paying, to be paid, they were waiting for me. The pressure that was on me, it was just too much, because I was working and I was settling some of the credits that I called, but it reached a point where it was too exhausting for me. I was working, going to work, 30 days a month I would go to work, but after working, I would ask myself when I would get my money, like, why am I even working? I can't even afford anything. Life became so hard. We sold the car, especially that pickup that we had managed to settle. That was the one that we sold. But still, because of the bills that were piling up for 2 years, mind you, there were bills that had gone unpaid. 2 straight years without the bills ever being paid. And as for the BMW, it was repossessed. And when you have your car repossessed, remember that you have lost the money that you would have paid on that car in the past 2 years. Like, you just lose it. So when it was all repossessed now, I then said, so what are we going to do? In our house, there was no more peace. We were always fighting. Me and my husband, we would fight because I was angry at my husband, because I used to tell him that this is going to happen. Trust me, your wife is an accountant. I know that we do not have the finances to take your BMWs to compete with people at work. I also have competition at work, but I know where I am. So my husband and I, we fought. There was no longer love at home, and we were always fighting. And then that was when I just decided that it was fine. We were supposed to just let it go. We were supposed to have a divorce. So me and my husband, finally, we then had a divorce. And after I had divorced my husband, I then started staying alone. I moved out of the location because my husband, he was no longer working at that time. He was always drunk because he was thinking about all the things that had happened in our life, all the things that had gone wrong. So he was always drunk at all the times. And when I was fed up with him, I then moved out and I started staying with my sister in town. Whilst I was staying with my sister in town, then I met a man who was my boyfriend. So this man that I met, he told me that he was in love with me and he wanted us to be together. So this was a Zimbabwean guy that I was now dating. Whilst we were dating, me and this guy, he took me to his place. But what surprised me, the very first day when he took me to his place, he did not want us to go to the bedroom. We literally made love on the couch the whole night. We were sleeping on the carpet. And when I said, don't you have a bed? And he was like, no, let's just sleep in here. We'll go there. So I thought that maybe he was married and he did not want to dishonor his wife's bed. Each and every time when I would go to his place, we would never sleep in the bedroom, until one day when he was fast asleep, I said, this man, why does he not want me to go upstairs? Everything that we do it downstairs. He does not allow me to go upstairs. He's very defensive. Like, does he have a wife? But if he has a wife, what is the wife doing? Why doesn't she hear all the things that we do here downstairs? So I had finished watching this other Nigerian movie. It was about a woman who had a husband that was a blind man. So the woman would be bringing some boyfriends. So I thought that maybe the man has a wife that is blind. So the curiosity in me got the better of me. I then went upstairs. When I went upstairs, remember that I had left my boyfriend downstairs. I moved so slowly and I went up and up until I got into the hallway. But this hallway was overlooking the dining room. What I saw was truly shocking. I saw my boyfriend. He was sleeping in the hallway on the floor. He was sleeping and he was naked. But I had left him downstairs. I just ran downstairs, and when I went back downstairs, I then saw him. He was sleeping peacefully on the couch, like we had been sleeping, watching a movie and cuddling. He woke up and he was like, where were you? I was fast asleep, and I lied to him that I had gone to the bathroom. So the thing that I saw, I could not understand if it was like a demon that I had seen, a ghost, what was really going on. I kept on nagging him that I wanted us to use the upper floor whenever we were together, he was treating me like I was a prostitute or something. He finally gave in, and we then went into his bedroom. When we were in his bedroom, after we had finished making love to each other, Brother Nashi, I saw a dead person. I saw a dead person that came out of the wardrobe. This dead person just came out of the wardrobe, and she started walking towards the bed, and everything just vanished in front of me. What surprised me was that it happened so quickly, but I woke up the very next morning. I was sitting at the taxi rank. There were some other taxi drivers that were surrounding me, and I asked them, what's wrong with me? Because I did not even have any shoes at all. And then they said that when they came, they just saw me. I was sitting at the taxi rank, and I was just sitting there. They asked me if something bad had happened to me, and I was shocked, and I was like, no, there's nothing that happened to me. I wanted to tell those taxi drivers everything that had happened when I had been with my boyfriend, but I said, who is going to believe in such a story that I saw a dead person that came out of the wardrobe when I was at my boyfriend's place? I returned back home. The way that I got so sick, Brother Nashi, I nearly lost my job. Like at work, there were times when it used to happen when I would go to the printing machine. If I wanted to print something out, it would always happen each and every time when I would want to go and use the printer. There will always be a man that will be there, and that man will just surprise me, and this man will just come out of nowhere, such that I ended up spilling coffee into the printing machine by mistake, because this man, he will just appear in front of me. And this man, the way that he was so black, he was so dark as the night, he will scare me. So people thought that I was losing my mind, because already everyone knew that me and my husband, we had 2 of our houses repossessed, we had our car repossessed, our credit cards, they had not been paid. Like, it was just terrible. And people just thought that maybe since me and my husband, we had gone through the divorce and us losing all the money, and everyone at work knew that I was just working to pay the credits that we were still owing. So, Brother Nashi, I just saw that people, they thought that I was crazy, and indeed the people thought that I was really crazy, and I decided to just stop going to work. I nearly lost my job when I decided not to go to work anymore. But one of my manager felt so sorry for me. My manager really felt sorry for me because of the conditions that he knew I was going through, and he supported me through everything. But the things that I saw in that guy's place, I can never forget. This man, he had even had the guts to call me to ask me if we still were supposed to keep on dating, if I still wanted him. I was so surprised that this man, with everything that I saw in his house, but he has no explanation, no what. He just called me like a narcissist he was, and he just said, so do you want us to continue dating, or you are done with me? And I was surprised at his guts that this guy, he's just asking me if I still want to continue dating, but he has no explanation as to why those things were in his house, why I would see him sleeping naked on the floor in the hallway at night when I would have gone to bed, whilst I was sleeping with him on the couch. No explanation, no what, no sorry, nothing. Just like, do you still want to date me or not? And when I did not give him an answer, he just blocked me on my WhatsApp, and that was it. And I was really happy that it happened that way, because if I was going to stay with this guy, I really do not know what else was going to happen to me. There are men out there that can give you a very proper life. Like, the short time that I dated this guy, I saw that the man was very romantic. He was not stingy. He was always there for me, supportive emotionally. He knew what I was going through with the money that we were owing at the bank. He made sure that he understood me. But I did not even think that this man, the reason as to why he was not married, it was because of all these rituals that he was doing. But I want to thank God that no matter how painful and how hard it became for me to know that I was dating a man that was a ritualist, but at the end of the day, I just thank God that, God, I want to thank you. I am grateful for everything that you have done. You protected me from the hands of a ritualist. Since that day, I'm scared to date a man that is not South African. It's not every man that is from outside of the country who is a ritualist, but the things that I saw in that man's house, it still shocks me to this very day. When you post my story, please tell me. I'll be following through in the comment section. But the life that me and my husband had been building, it was so painful. I do not want to lie to you, because as for me, I learned everything on the job. And me and my husband, we were supposed to have made it in life, because I just went to college, and after I did my bookkeeping course, and then straight from matric did my bookkeeping course, and all of a sudden I was now working in the government, and I was trained and I got promoted. And my husband on the side, he was also young, and because we were so young, my husband just thought that we will become instant millionaires. He just wanted to show everyone that we are making it in life. Yet I know that in order for you to make it in life, you need to live beyond your means, not above your means, because once you do that, you will sink into the water very fast. And once you start to have all of these credits that you will be unable to pay, you will end up doing some things, even becoming a ritualist. This is my own confession. Dear listeners, right, there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Let us try to speak with our sister in the comment section. Then there is another message that was sent to me by our brother who needs advice. The message that he has for us, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I came to South Africa. This was in the year 2008. During those days, we used to get some asylum seekers permit when you were a Zimbabwean. I got mine, and I did not come and renew my asylum. I did not know that once you go there, you get blocked. Later on, it was going to affect me. I started working somewhere else, and the company wanted us to get some workers' permits. Unfortunately, because I was already in the system, my visa could not be processed. So I was just working as an illegal worker, because I was the one that had all the experience. What I did not know was that my boss was using me to train some other South African guys. Once they started to know what they were doing, they could complete everything without even me being there. My boss then told me that he could not employ me anymore because I had failed to fix my papers in time. Fast forward, all that I do is I survive on doing piece jobs. I make those brick making machines, even the big ones that they use in the industries, and I even make other things that they use in the mines. But in order for me to get those contracts, it is very hard because I do not have any papers here in South Africa. So there are other black South Africans that come to me, and I design everything for them. They give me money, but it is not so much money. And the work that I do, I can go for a year without getting any contract because it is mainly products that are used in the mines. I really do not know what else to do. If I go back to Zim, it is going to be very hard because our economy is not as sophisticated as South Africa's economy is. My skills, they are going to be very difficult for me to get contracts back in my country. So I have met up with this other man. He's a Sangoma. This man is saying that he is willing to assist me. He wants to give me this other idol that he wants to give me, that I'm going to be praying to, that is made out of wood, and I will pray to that wooden idol. It is going to be my God. It is going to be my ancestor. It is going to provide everything for me, money and everything. And if I have money, he has told me that any South African woman will be willing to marry me, then I'll use that South African woman to get my proper papers. I really do not know. Am I supposed to go ahead with this? I'm scared. All along, I have been a Christian, but he asked me one question that really broke my heart. He asked me, why is it that God gave you the skill to use your hands, but then he tied your hands so that you cannot use your skill? This Sangoma from Durban, he asked me, were you born knowing that you are a Zimbabwean? Did you ask the Creator to be born as a Zimbabwean? If your desire is to have businesses, to become a millionaire in South Africa, then let me give you a God that understands your situation. Does an idol understand your situation? That's all that I need to know from your listeners. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. Let us try to speak with our brother right there in the comment section. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world.